I'm on a date tonight, so I'll have to just look good. No, I'll just do it in front of her. She maybe.
Going! He's kept going! He's scored! Oh, Stockport pressure. And the header into the back of the net! That's Palmer! Armstrong played in again. And a superb goal! Johnny did it! Lisa! Rose tries to get the ball in. Wilkinson!
It's a 5-star performance from Stockport County.
All right, we got a small house, but we got a big bloody heart, I tell you.
Don't want to show off, but I actually saw Psychological dress rehearsal at the Roadhouse before they were big. Hello and welcome to the eagerly anticipated 95th instalment of SK3 TV, the show for the thinking county fan. As long as the county fan's thinking, what's all this about onions and electricity? Just stick with us, it'll be good. Yes, we are here every Sunday with all the latest from SK3, providing it has a county bias. Joining us this week, it's Dave. Hello, Dave.
Good evening. You okay?
How are we?
Good. Good after an unbeaten couple of games.
Yeah,
Get used to this again.
If you told me last week, at the end of last week's show, that in 7 days' time you'll be back here and you'll have picked up 4 points, I'd probably have gone, yeah, that seems plausible. Yeah. So, not too many surprises, but at the same time, something to build on, something to be pleased about as we enter the Saturday-Tuesday zone, apart from this week.
Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, or something along those lines.
Which was the greatest bit of interviewing ever done by a county manager. It's what we've all waited for. If the Pecks had been going at the same time, we would have reached peak Challenger, I think. If the Pecks had been going and then he slagged the fans off, then that would have been Dave Challenger interviews distilled into 10 seconds, but you can't have it all. Also joining us, well, we alluded to his activities earlier. It's Jonathan the Geordie Hatter. Hello, mate. You all right?
How are you doing? I am so glad to be here, Nick and Dave. I'm so glad to be here.
Lovely to have you here.
Now, it's as much as anything.
I mean, we should probably. I don't want to beat about the bush. The onions. Let's talk about the onions. What how have you been spending your Saturday nights, Jonathan?
Well, just obviously early kick-off, and then, kind of made the dinner. Did I watch a show on the telly? I don't know. What's that? Oh, yeah, with the onions. Yeah, okay. Well, I just, I have a substation at the back of the house. And
show off.
Which, I just a substation, and sometimes I just like to go out to the backyard, take the air, and sometimes, I mean, maybe when a couple of libations may have been taken after an early kickoff, I may decide to indulge in a little bit of onion thrown into the substation, or in an attempt to get the onions into the substation, which has mostly been a kind of private kind of activity. Or me and Frankie have done it, my son, on occasion after the Halifax game, I remember. But anyway, I rather possibly ill-advisedly did a little video, didn't I, of my onion thrown exploits, which
some of the sound effects. I think you went the most Geordie you've ever gone.
Well, I was really happy with the onion thrown because it was, it's a feat to get it over there, and I was like, oh, that's all right, that, you know what I mean? So I think that I got a bit carried away. Let's be perfectly honest with you. There had been a couple of small libations taken.
To be fair, though, the last time I was at home on a Saturday night, I was flicking through the channels and Michael McIntyre's The Wheel was on, and all I wanted to do was throw vegetables around.
Well, this is it, you see. What I
really angry.
It's like that gap between like the end of the early kickoff and match of the day. It's a long gap, isn't it? You've made the dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, what's on the telly? You know what I mean? Not much, frankly, not much.
It sort of got me thinking we could have like an alternative Olympics.
Yeah, you've got to find yourself out there with a brown onion. And it was also scientific, I should mention. A brown onion in one hand, red onion in the other hand. Scientific experiment to see which had the greatest kind of heft and aerodynamic qualities. I should also mention in my defense and mitigation that because the comment has been made, the cost of living nowadays, doing onions, I'd grow the onions. I'd grow the onions at my allotment. I can vouch for that also. So it was like relatively, it's like the good life. I'm sure that I am actually sure that Tom from Tom and Felicity and the Good Life. If we look, we'll find an episode where he throws the onions and probably breaks Penelope's greenhouse, I would imagine, down in Suburban there. So
it almost sounds.
It's respectable. It's suburban. It gets this, out in the open air. I mean, I don't. The more that I talk about it now, the less embarrassed I feel.
I think there's. It almost makes me think of. With you mentioning that you did the two different types of onions, so you almost had like the red onion was like the standard brown onion was your British team. That was Nottingham Forest in the Nottingham Forest in the European Cup. The red onion is your crack European outfit.
It's Zurich Grasshoppers.
Yes, exactly.
It's not unfortunate as US Grasshoppers in the onion thrown European Cup of the 1980s. And next time Frankie's home, I'm sure that I will extend his European football knowledge by that very analogy.
The youth of today don't know the joy of
they don't.
this pursuit.
And to be honest with you, I mean, he's obviously a great young fella, Frankie. I think you both met him. But if there's one skill he hasn't quite mastered yet. It's the old onion thrown. I've got to be honest with you. So
I bet they've all got apps on the phones that let them throw onions. Don't they?
Yeah, it's all good with mithers nowadays. You know what I mean?
Do you grow anything else in your allotments that you could potentially swap the onions for and make a series out of this? Because I'd watch it.
Oh God! if it's pumpkins, we're fucked.
Well, I mean, a potato is an obvious contender. I mean, a cauliflower, but would it have the aerodynamic qualities? You could be lobbing radishes over there. I mean, this is not me making any commitments in that regard, because also I'm not sure that Mrs. Geordie Hatter either entirely apprehends the extent of my practice or would approve of like no courgettes ever coming home, because not coming home, but like after that quite quickly like departing. Not
if she
to
ever has a walk by the substation, she's
not to mention what the electricity boards might have to say about all of this. You know what I mean?
Imagine there was like a power outage got caused. Imagine like you properly hit it and like there was like a power cut for like half of Stockport.
I mean, imagine if that. Oh fuck! Oh, sorry. No. Yeah. I mean, it's great, Then by substation. I mean, you get the electricity it's zinging. It's fantastic. It's
good electricity. Good clean electricity.
Honestly, you got your wattage. You know what I mean? It's fantastic.
What have people got against 240 Great British volts?
What have they got against them? It's
the Wokes will come and take that from us next.
It's a local landmark.
Talking of the Wokes taking things from us, it's time for the admin. We are, of course, brought to you proudly in association with the Blackbird Group, encompassing Blackbird Kitchen on the Pans at Gorilla Manchester, Len's Chippy Droylsden, and the newly relaunched Blackbird Burger as well. Also in the admin section, myself and Dave had a chat with Gaz Owen, 2008 Wembley winning captain, still to this. As we record, at the time of speaking, still the only county captain to win at Wembley. And that is a horse we will be beating for at least the next few weeks, possibly beyond. Who knows? The vicissitudes of the footballing season. I've always wanted to use that word.
This is the podcast for the thinking Stockport County supporter, isn't it?
It really is, isn't it? I mean, they've heard about the onions already.
Vicissitudes? What's that mean?
Yeah. I promised them the onion chat. We've boxed tick, done. Onion chat. Onions are substations, bang, done. Vicissitudes, bang. And we were just about to hit the 10-minute mark, bang, sorted. Yes, that is available now. Getting some good numbers on that Gazoin episode.
By the way, lads, honestly, in all seriousness, and if anybody's not seen it, I mean, it's fantastic. It had me gripped for, was it like for that week I had with them? And
Yeah.
Just in terms of, because I didn't know the whole story anyway, because I've come late to county, but also just like, just as a kind of insight into the world of the footballer and how they're kind of not like us in that the whole bit about, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but the bit about where he talks about how on that Wembley appearance, because he'd hurt himself and I think he had like an injury to his eye, he could have literally like gone blind if he'd taken a knock, but he wasn't bothered. He was like, I'm gonna play. Of course I am. You know what I mean? So just I just love the whole insight into and how the different managers and people that he's played with, and he was quite frank about that as well. And and about how things can just work out differently in different clubs. I just thought it was great. You know.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, we enjoyed it. There'll be more of that to come. And there's more of other stuff to come, is there not, Jonathan? Thursday nights are... Well, Thursday night isn't the place to be, because it's not a place. Thursday night is the time to be alive, I would say, would you not?
Oh, well, since we're on the Thursdays. So as long as I haven't been, you know, as long as the electricity board haven't intervened, Thursday night I will be... I was going to say the away day show. It's not that anymore. It's the county radio show, the county Thursday club radio show, because we go Thursday nights now. Every Thursday night, whether we're home and away, it's my radio show. It's a build up to the games on the Saturday, and it's got music, as in kind of, you know, eclectic kind of tracks chosen by me and a little bit by the County Nation, because we have like a theme each week, kind of for the songs, and we have plenty of chat, because there's plenty of people in the chat kind of interacting and stuff, which is really what the show is, to be honest with you, because I just try and kind of keep on top of all of that. And then we have a few little features like the little bit of the manager's interview and the encyclopedic look into the opposition, where I, you know who we're playing, etc. I'll probably listen to some stuff. It's an hour and a half, 90 minutes, and it's on mixler.com. And everybody's welcome. Thursday Club. Join the committee. Join the committee. There's a nice little spread on.
Yeah, it's a lovely little community there. I would urge people to come and get involved. Help set the playlist and the agenda as you can do every week. 100%. And you can find that in our episode description. If you click on our link tree, then the link is there. Have a subscribe, have a listen, get involved. Talking of getting involved, Dave, County have decided to once again get involved in the playoff race, and we'll kick off talking about it after this. So we will kick off, as we do, with Northampton Tuesday night. On the face of it, Dave, you look at it, and there was certainly a prevailing view that we'll be battering teams like this easily. At this point of the season in particular, can you maybe address the County Nation, as we're calling it in Jonathan's honour? Can you address them and say that that's not going to be the case at this stage of the season? Because it really infuriated me on Tuesday. People just couldn't... It wasn't even like... Fair enough, be disappointed at half-time that we'd let a lead slip when we looked comfortable. Fair enough. But for it to be like 25 minutes in and people seemingly expecting us to be 3 or 4 up... I found a new thing to be infuriated by. Am I right to be infuriated?
Yeah, I think you are. It's chuck into all of that at this stage of the season. A new manager bounce, rumoured new manager bounce. Then anything could have happened on Tuesday. Our poor form. Look, all you want on any game now is 3 points at home, as Charlie has alluded to. Win your home games, draw your away games, and you're going to be in the playoffs. We started unbelievably well, which is a lovely, refreshing change. Yeah. And I must admit, I did think inwardly we could go and get 3 or 4 here.
Same.
Not demanding, but we could go and do it. And then, yeah, unfortunately, we kind of slipped into habits that we've made recently of just falling asleep at the back. And there's been a theme also of when Corey Adai makes a save, whether it's in front of him or a really good save miles away, they somehow manage to score anyway. I'm feeling a bit sorry for him at the moment, which is a testament actually to how he's been playing. But yeah, what I really liked about Tuesday was when we went forward, we really looked dangerous and we looked like we were going to do something. The only criticism for me was we just didn't do it enough, because we could have. We had the way we wanted to for large parts. Just go and kill games off. Like Challoner said, then we can bring your Kyle Wotton of the world off and give him a rest rather than trying to hold off. But a nice 3 points and some good positives to take from it.
Very much so. Jonathan, so Dave mentioned the defence there. I mean, we're very unqualified to say what the problem is. I mean, our successful defender of a manager and his successful defender of an assistant have clearly not managed to get a grip of it. But what do you think it is? Why do you think it is that we're looking so weak defensively, particularly recently? Because it, on the face of it, on paper, particularly at centre back, we look as though we've upgraded from last season.
Well,
But
yeah,
the goals
absolutely.
against Colin would suggest otherwise.
Absolutely, and it's not as if we're like really making lots of chopping and changing. I don't think of the back,
No.
certainly not central.
I think that's where we've been most steady.
Absolutely. So that. I think maybe in the wide areas sometimes it's a bit of a function of the kind of the formation thing where you've got wide players who you want them to get forward, and their strengths aren't necessarily completely defensively. Diamond on the right side with the goal that Dave's just mentioned. I think there was the mention that he could potentially headed it clear. So maybe some of that. I also just think that sometimes just a little bit of lapses of concentration, like individually, like generally speaking, defensive performances aren't maybe right across the board bad, but you feel that there's a little bit of a lapse there that could happen at any time. So maybe those would be a couple of things I'd pick out, and also maybe just with the game on Tuesday, yes, funny Dave, you said like you internally thought, oh, we'll get 3 or 4 maybe here. I kind of had that thought as well, but then I also thought to myself, do you know what? We've scored so early. These lot are like near the bottom of the league. They don't seem that good. They're going to get a goal out of nowhere, aren't they? And that's what can kind of happen, hasn't it? You switch off a little bit in a moment, and something a bit daft, like Corey just kind of palms it into the middle where it should be palming it wide, and there's their goal. And it was almost like their end took a few seconds to react, because like, what, we've scored a goal? Really? That's where's that come from? So yeah, but also I think I agree with Dave that second half definitely, because first half of anything I thought, well, potentially a little bit kind of predictable, a little bit almost laboured at times, but after the goal, but then second half I thought, great. I loved our second half. I loved how we opened up and seemed to play with more variety and freedom. Yeah. So then I wasn't worried about defence then, because I wasn't expecting we're going to concede.
It does almost feel. I mean, We'll get onto something when we talk about yesterday's game that suggests that what I'm about to say might not be the case. But if opposition managers and analysts and everything are doing their homework, they should know from our defensive record that they don't need to properly push against us, because regardless of how much we're dominating a game, on the rare occasion it happens, regardless of how much we're dominating, sides are still going to get chances. And they're going to be looking at us and thinking, well, all it takes is one chance. And even if they stop you scoring from that one chance, there's a high chance that the ball is going to end up back in danger. So if you can win your second ball, which teams are doing a lot against us compared to previously, teams are winning those second balls.
Absolutely.
It just feels like teams are coming to us very confident that they will get a chance. It's not like it has been previously, where we've been on these mad runs where we just don't look like conceding at all.
No, exactly.
At this point, it just feels like every time they go forward.
Exactly, and also maybe not just the defence that we need to look at as well, right? I think that we'll get onto the Luton game, but we seemed the defence was quite exposed a lot of the time. What was the protection there for the midfield? Was the midfield kind of mobile enough and kind of snapping into challenges and staying with their men enough? I mean, again, I'm not a tactician. I'm an onion thrower. You know what I mean? But I just wonder that when you see your defence kind of seeming to get a little bit kind of exposed a little bit like that, something's not quite right.
I agree with that.
It seems
the midfield definitely seems to be an issue, as well as the defence as well, is it, that they are being exposed. Also on Tuesday, I was absolutely gutted for Tanto that he missed his chance, because what we saw, well, maybe you could include the finishing in this, is the Tanto that we know. He was running the lines, running the channels. We were playing the balls through to him. He was just causing an absolute nuisance of himself, and a really important part to playing the winning goal. I think he was really, really good and deserved his start yesterday. I was just gutted for him when he missed that golden opportunity, because I think that would have really kicked him on a little bit confidence-wise. But I hope he's taken a lot of confidence from his actual performance.
There does seem to have been a big change in the last week to 10 days or so in Tanto. He seems to have stepped up a bit. I don't know if it's a consequence of getting more game time, feeling a bit more confident, a bit sharper, but he's going to be big. Considering there were some who'd written him off a couple of weeks ago and said, well, that was a waste of a loan. Well, no, there's a lot of football still to be played. Luton was scared shitless of him yesterday, and that's exactly what he brings at a point where that's something we've not had all season, really. Someone who, as good as Jack Diamond can be running at defenders, they're not scared shitless like they are with your Tantos and your Barrys and your Sidibes. Even though, as our friend Matt Bryan said, he's like Usain Bolt at Soccer Aid, which is one of the best. It's spot on. It's absolutely spot on, because he'll have this burst of pace and look incredible, and then there will be brief periods where he does look like some sort of competition winner.
Well,
but
yeah,
I think that's what makes him so exciting. I think, particularly you, Jonathan, you're a fan of a cult hero, are you not?
I'm a fan of players who 1 minute look like they're the best player in the world, or can become that, and the next minute just look like they've just run into the stadium out of the streets. Yeah, and I love that about him. And I think it was an early interview with Challoner when he was here. Challoner said, "Oh, we need to maybe get some of the raw edges off him." I think we'll need to leave the raw edges on, because I think that he's kind of got this unpredictability, and also I think he has got. It's not like the guy's not got a football brain. You know what I mean? I mean, some of those runs that he's making on take the last minute of the game against Luton, where Mothershill, we're not talking Mothershill yet, but again, I felt sorry for Mothershill that goal didn't go in from his cross, because like Tando, he just needs one thing to just really go right, doesn't he? And so yeah, I think that he, sit in exactly the right place for the cross, isn't he? Also, just I guess, yeah, just while we're talking about Mothershill there as well. I was pleased for Mothershill that when he came on, he had that moment and went past his man. And what I felt like there was, because clearly he's not 100% confident, right, Mothershill. I mean, he just isn't, right?
Yeah, I don't see how he could be. I don't see in what world he would be. Exactly.
But what I was impressed by was, I could almost see, as he took that defender on the breakaway there, that he was thinking, well, I'm not feeling that confident, but I'm 1 against 1. I actually have to take this guy on. So you kind of willed yourself and backed yourself, and then it worked, didn't it? You just need, if you can get 2 or 3 of those in a row that just work, and say one of them produces a goal, he's going to be away. It
almost comes across as damning him with faint praise, but I really enjoyed it's a bit of a vicious circle, I think, because he's got to the point where he's been in and out of the team. He's not really shown why we signed him, but then he's only getting limited game time. He's pretty much the last sub getting called upon on it at every opportunity. When he does get on, he's 88th, 89th minute, very much an afterthought. So to come into a game like that, knowing that you've got 2 minutes to impress to try and get a place next week. So with him not having any confidence at the moment, he's going to be trying things that maybe he shouldn't. He's not quite going to know what he's doing. And there are points where he'll go in for a 50-50 and doesn't seem to know where the ball is, or he'll lose control of it. But then we're starting to see it more and more, these flashes of moments. The type of stuff that you saw on his Peterborough highlight videos when we signed him.
Peterborough highlight video, which
we're starting to see these little bits. Yeah. I mean, that cross, that run and cross, you say, that was exactly the type of thing he was doing at Peterborough. That's exactly the type of thing I thought we were getting when we signed him. So yeah, he's another one we if we can start getting a bit more out of him at this time of the season, then that's going to be absolutely perfect for us. Right, I was going to wait until the Luton game to mention this, but seeing as we've just covered Tanto, so I noticed the other week I can't remember what game it was. I think it was at home. He'd not had a particularly good game. watching the highlights, and I noticed. Right, Dave, name me a football boot. Just first football boot that comes to mind.
Total 90s.
There we go. Jonathan, same question.
The Beckenbauer. Is there one called the Beckenbauer?
There is the Adidas. Yeah, it's like the modified Adidas Samba thing. Yeah, so there we go. That's the school of thought I'm going for with footballers. I would also have accepted Puma Kings, Adidas Predators. That's the ballpark. So I was very disappointed the other week to see Tanto Olafe wearing Skechers boots.
Harry Kane wears Skechers.
Right, thank you. This has been on my mind for about 4 years, since Harry Kane signed up with them. Skechers, in my mind, are shoes for people who don't want to bend down to tie their shoes, as evidenced in the advert with Jamie Redknapp, where the whole selling point is that I don't have to fucking bend down, mate. Fucking brilliant. That's it.
Exactly. Speaking as I think in fact, I'm sure the veteran of the three of us here, I've entered the Skechers age, and it's not for my elite sports activities.
No, you wouldn't wear them to Power League, would you? So for Harry Kane, a man whose ankles are made of crisps, for him to be going around in Skechers boots, having played like 60-odd games a season, despite Bayern having the league won by October, they still play him 90 minutes every single game. He's going into a World Cup absolutely knackered with ankles made of crisps, and he's wearing boots. And the way he plays invites collisions to his ankle. That's same as Jack. That's why Jack Wilshere had to end his career so early, because the way he played involved him showing the ball to opposition defenders, and they'd dive in and his ankle would get snapped every single time. I don't want Harry Kane going into a tournament wearing these boots.
He'll be the first Ballon d'Or winner in history to wear Skechers. Just can't wait for it.
Last. But what if this was the thing now? What if, like, he won the World Cup and the World Cup Golden Boot and the Ballon d'Or off the back of that, wearing Skechers boots?
And the Golden Boot
do for
is a Skechers. Can you imagine?
Yeah, Skechers Golden Boot. What would that do for Skechers? What David Beckham did for the Adidas Predator? Do you reckon?
Yeah,
you've got to imagine
kids in school would be like, "Mum, I want some Skechers."
Yeah. But so we're saying that Tando wears Skechers. Is that what we're saying?
Yes. So I was thinking maybe that's a reason for his indifferent form. But then I found out yesterday. So obviously Harry Kane's tremendous goal scoring record obviously puts paid to that theory. But then also Ollie Norwood was wearing them yesterday, apparently, for his free kick.
Okay. Well, I mean, I normally I wouldn't be recommending, kind of lounge wear for kind of professional football.
I
but
wouldn't usually.
It seems to be working,
But people have been saying for years that Ethan Pye plays like he's wearing slippers. So maybe there's something in it. Maybe it's all in the footwear.
Well, until
good link that.
Well, wearing Ugg boots.
Yeah. Who's the most Ugg boot player in the squad, Dave?
Now that is a good question.
I can see Ethan Pye in a pair of Uggs.
Teo Eden for me. I think he'd love a pair of Uggs.
Well, he fucking defends like he's wearing them.
Just while we're on the Northampton game, did you notice where their goal came from? What was the catalyst to start that move for their goal?
It came from...
Go on.
Didn't it?
The goalkeeper faking an injury. Players went to the side. They changed shape.
Oh, it was.
And then they came through and scored. And do you know what? Fair play. It's worked. They've done it, and they've done it properly. If you do it properly, I've got a little bit less of a problem with it.
Well, to be fair, Twitter was full of people slagging him off for this, and I almost started replying because I was watching on the stream, and he had tissue up his nose as if he had a nosebleed. He put like the cotton things up his nose. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, oh well, he. But then I was like, no, well, clearly that's the next step because teams are getting called out for it for saying, well, the keeper's not actually injured. So if you ram them up his nose, then I suppose. And I was like second guessing myself. I was like, why am I defending them here? But yeah, it worked for them. That must have been the most immediate example of it working.
And a nosebleed. I like how it's a nosebleed because it's kind of it's kind of the fake injury that you would use at school to get out of like geography, isn't it? Oh, I've got a nosebleed.
Or the one year, the one day where in primary school I didn't want to go to school the next day, so lay in bed at night. I decided to get a felt tip out, and I'd seen Norman Price do it in Fireman Sam. He drew chicken pox on his face, so I'm sat there in the dark putting my spots on. I went downstairs the next morning. I was like, "Mum, I've got spots." She's like, "What? Why are they green?" And it turns out it had been a green felt tip, and I'd reached for the wrong felt tip in the dark. So that was my fake injury career over with.
That's whatever. We need to start checking the physios, bags for stationery.
Yeah, blood capsules like they used to, didn't happen in the rugby. Someone had they used to chew fake blood capsules to get players sent off and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was a
That's
thing.
where we're going.
Yeah.
Oh god, we'll all be calling, bringing rugby stuff into football. We'll be calling the referees sir and drinking each other's piss next.
Can I? Because I'd forgotten this, but it really incensed us. I was watching yesterday's game, other sports in football. I was watching yesterday's game on, the Sky TV. So it was their commentator, and it's when they have like, because I suppose they've got loads of commentators, so they just send this guy down to Luton. He's not even in Luton, is he? And he clearly would rather be, in his case, playing golf. And you know what really annoyed us? It really annoyed us when, towards the end of the game, and the Luton were mounting a couple of attacks, and he said, Luton are starting to look quite strong here across the back nine. And I thought, what does he mean? And I thought, it's a golf expression. And I thought, just stop with the golf expressions, because it's this kind of assumption that we are all golf guys here, and we're not, by the way, we're not. I just really can we not have that? It's when I have a free kick and it's like, oh, he's played that with his 9-iron. I don't know what it fucking means.
Also,
so
if you have the low par performance, for example, you would say that was a bad performance, but in golf, below par is exactly where you want to be. So
I might start saying that when we have a bad game. I might start saying, "Oh, we're very above par in that first half," and just see how, because people will. It's like I used to have a mate who at every opportunity he'd go against anything you said. He'd try and like start a big debate and what have you with facts and stuff. And so I once said to him, "I've got an above average number of testicles." I can't believe the way this show's gone.
But okay.
I've got an above average. I have 2 testicles. 2. Spoiler alert. I have 2. He's like, well, no, because everyone's got 2. And I was on him. I was on him like a puma. I was like, well, no, because if you take out all those people, all those people who've got less than 2, that brings the average down.
It's just basic arithmetic, isn't it?
Yeah. And I was so pleased with myself. We don't talk anymore. I think that was part of the reason why I'm not having any more of this. Right, what we'll do, is there anything else on Northampton before we have a random county non-league goal of the week?
What is it? I thought Stokes had a great game.
But yeah, after he seemed to have tailed off, and there's this injury that I know as fans we ask for more details about injured players, particularly with our track record. We do sort of want a bit more detail than management are normally willing to give. Having heard the details of Josh Stokes' ongoing niggle,
what is it like?
I would happily not hear about injuries again. So the gist of it is that where he had to have this operation on was it a broken foot that he had to have an operation on? Essentially, a bit of the bone that was operated on is rubbing against his boot.
Ooh!
Genuinely feel a bit faint now.
Okay, that was sketches, by the way. So.
I wish I hadn't asked. Well, he had an amazing game then. And it was one of those where, because I think Bailey got the man of the match. I thought Bailey had a good game. But for me, the guy scores the first goal, sets up the second with, by the way, the most delicious cross you've ever seen in your life. And
That was
generally,
very much stood up. That cross
He
was.
got stood up at the back post, didn't it?
Yeah.
And the way that he was a live wire and everything. So I felt yeah, Stokes.
That shows though how good
Again,
Bailey
another
was,
one.
because Bailey
Yeah.
was fantastic. I've been banging this drum for weeks and weeks anyway, well, months. But I was so pleased that he got some recognition on Tuesday night, because yeah, it was just, it's turning on the ball to go forward every time he got it was really stand out for me.
I love Bailey, mate. I really do.
Yeah.
He's such a lovely footballer to watch as well, isn't he?
I've noticed as well recently with him the discipline he's shown, because a criticism of him previously has been that he'll give the ball away and will concede. I think there was a spell where every time he lost the ball or gave away a free kick, we'd concede. I think there was a spell of about 2 or 3 months where it happened every time. The discipline he's showing, now he's playing in a deeper role to sort of get rid of that from his game, or kind of picking and choosing when to take more risks, because in a deeper position you're more likely to get punished losing the ball in a situation like that. It's all right when you're playing as a 10 and they're up at the other end of the pitch and you've still got a chance to get it off him. It's been really, really fantastic, and he should be. I mean, you'd imagine if the awards were to be done today, I think most people would be voting for Kyle Wootton.
Yeah.
And if player of the season, if they weren't, there'd be an issue there. But Bailey surely has to be.
He's in the conversation.
In the
He's
conversation.
got to be.
Yeah, and the player, by the way, who I feel like early on, or even maybe until this season, was I feel like he's constantly been one who people have at, when the transfer windows come around. Oh, could be Bailey that away. Why you're looking now and saying, well, this is a guy you'd want him in this league and the one upwards.
Yeah,
for
he's
me,
still improving. He's still fairly young.
Players that find themselves out of the matchday squad where he was, when you get given your chance, go and take it. Because now you're being spoken about as a potential player of the month, player of the season, sorry, and he's out of contract end of the year, so hoping we get some renewal on that one.
Yeah, you can. And I think there's players who've been out of the team who could certainly learn from that. I would say the fact that he can come into the team after, to all intents and purposes, it looked like his county career was over at one point. I think if he'd left last summer, I don't think anyone would have been surprised or even really complained that much. So for him to not just work his way back in, but also to reinvent himself for the good of the team at a point where we needed someone in that position desperately. Yeah. So you'd hope that other players would learn from that. They won't, but there's one player I've got in mind. Right, let's have. Oh, he's just popped up in the comments. Let's have a random county non-league goal of the week, as sourced by our mate Chris Eaton. 4 years ago today, a player who wore the county captain's armband scored a free kick. That's handy, isn't it?
Minihan working hard. Collar, he's actually given the ball away straight to Omateo. But then a dreadful touch by Coulson has exposed his own defence, and this could be a chance for County. It's a trip on the edge of the box. It's going to be a red card. Well, Quigley was through on goal. Coulson caused all the problems with a terrible touch on the halfway line, which allowed County to counter-attack. And it was Quigley who led the charge. He was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He was clearly tripped. It was just inside the D. That's the challenge facing him. And in fact, he's going to leave it, and he's going to be rifled home anyway by Paddy Madden. Everybody fooled, including us in the commentary box. Paddy Madden didn't seem to have an interest in it, but then he hit it hard and low, around the side of the wall. County 3 up, and a man up as well.
Oh, I miss him.
I loved that. Who was the opposition there? Because our little kind of timer was above the thing that said it was.
Kings Lynn, wasn't it?
Kings Lynn would be my...
Kings
Lynn.
You
could get the best striker in the world, Harry Kane, in his sketches, come and play for County, and I would still miss Paddy Madden.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. How's he doing at Accrington? Do we know? Is it Accrington?
He's on loan at Accrington, yeah. He was on a good run of form, but then every time I look, Accrington don't score, so I don't know. I'm going to have a look.
Well, yeah. That's the problem playing for a club who are shite, is it? Is it not? Talking of clubs who are shite, now it doesn't work as a link. That on to yesterday then. Jonathan, just before we even get on to the ins and outs of the game, in terms of having to play them at Wembley in a few weeks, just how important do you think it was psychologically that we went in making sure we didn't lose?
Psychologically, yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, I think it'll have an impact there. You know, I think maybe I just watched the manager's interview just before them, and he was almost kind of playing down the kind of to what extent this is some kind of dress rehearsal for Wembley. No, it's going to be, isn't it? You're playing the same bunch of players. You know, you're there. They're going to be there again, and so I think it probably was. Yeah. And I feel like maybe in that respect, the fact that we ended the game stronger than we started it is something that is psychologically beneficial.
I think under normal circumstances, I think we'd have been. I mean, another thing is win your home games, draw your away ones. That puts you on 2 points a game. That's going to get you promoted 9 times out of 10. Obviously, we're past the point where we need to be winning our away games now. We're just at the point where we need to do enough to make sure we get a playoff place, get wrapped up as early as we can, and sort of if we can know with a few games to go what position we're going to be in the playoffs, then we can start thinking about resting players and stuff. That'd be nice. How about you, Dave? First half, how was that for you? Because we saw the same rumblings that we do pretty much every week at half time. Was that fair, do you think?
I think so. It was, defensive error for the goal again, which, if you're scoring that goal, you're absolutely buzzing. It reminded me of Louis Barry at Blackpool last season, where he sat players down. From their point of view, they'd have been fuming about it, but from our point of view, a really good goal. But other than that, I think we defended okay. It was just a lack of intent going forward. We didn't look up for it. We didn't look like, we wanted to go and score a goal. Started to feel sorry for the travelling fans.
1,100 as well.
And a half-time kick-up on a Saturday.
Fantastic.
Absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, I think the rumblings at half-time were justified. Although I did like, Charlie said in his interview that in the ground you wouldn't have known they were unhappy because they were behind the players, and that's exactly what you want to hear.
It did sound great on telly.
Yeah.
Compared to normal, certainly compared to home games. Yeah, it fell with. It was a weird one, the goal, because it was it's a fantastic hit. Let's anyone blaming Corey Adai for that when he's at full stretch and it goes in off the post. I'm sorry, if it goes in off the post, then you can't be blaming the keeper. Very, very rarely. He was at full stretch and still couldn't get to that. It was a fantastic finish. In the build-up to it, Norwood almost thinks twice about putting in a challenge, which I think may have been down to... I think he was one booking away from a ban yesterday. I'm pretty sure yesterday was the cut-off point, so I think he's all right now. But that would explain a lot about that challenge, because he did almost think twice, I think. No one's come out of it looking good, really.
Yeah, I would explain a little bit for sure, because it's not like Norwood not like any of them to kind of only half commit to a challenge, and it was almost like he was trying to do something, I don't know, a little bit more than he needed to, with trying to do something a bit clever or something. I'm going to say, and I know it's a minority view, and I don't want to get on the goalkeeper's back. I know it was an amazing shot, but I'll be honest with you. My first reaction seeing it go in was, is he actually full stretch? Is he full stretch? I sometimes think he just needs to get his arms right out. He dives fine, but his arms right out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that will sound that might sound harsh, because it was an amazing strike. And
there was. Oh, sorry, Joe. I think you carry on.
Oh no, just that.
There was one just before it, where it was a really similar strike, and
Palmer,
he got his fingertips to it out for a corner.
He did. That was an amazing save, by the way, because I think that taken deflection, hadn't it, as well?
Yeah.
So you can pick out instances in a game. But generally speaking, our defending was good, wasn't it, in the game? And we got better.
Yeah, we sort of we managed to. You can see there's a bit of discontent from the Luton fans in that they didn't. Almost the same criticism we've had for a lot of this season is that we're just happy to have the ball and not really push too hard to do anything with it. But I mean, I think with Luton, it's probably very much a case of Jack Wilshere's coaching journey, and the fact that Arsenal is the club he came through at, where that's very much the style of play. Also, I was when he was coming through. So I don't know if maybe it's the whole under 21s coach manager pipeline where they just tend to play like that, as we've seen in hilarious fashion. So I don't know if there's an element of that, because Luton for a club who've, I wouldn't say he's massively turned their season round, but comparing them to where they were before he took over, he seems to be doing a good job. He's only had one transfer window as well. It seems to be getting them going in the right direction again. The way some of their fans go on about him, though,
is that right?
You think they're losing every week. The way some of their fans are going, and that for that reason, Luton get to join the group of what I've branded the weirdest fans in League One, and it's all fans of clubs who spent a limited time in the Premier League. Bolton fans are within their rights to complain because they were a Premier League heavyweight. They were playing in Europe. They were everyone's favourite Premier League team at one point. Fair play. Bolton fans, they expect more, and that's fair. But when you see like Huddersfield, Cardiff, Luton, Blackpool, when you see these sets of fans who've had like one, maybe 2 seasons at a push in the Premier League, especially Huddersfield spent most of the season getting slapped about by everyone, and then they think somehow they have a divine right to
the divine right.
And now Luton fans are doing the same. And at no point, even the season Luton went up, I don't think any of them were expecting them to. It was one of them like proper unlikely promotions, and now for them to be thinking that the Premier League's like their rightful level, like genuinely baffles me.
And I thought that they were. I guess I've not seen a lot of them, but just on that game yesterday, I thought that they looked well coached. They looked really motivated. They had a good spirit and cohesion about them. I actually thought that for a lot of the game until I got maybe towards the end, they just looked slightly sharper than us. Kind of. Generally about the pitch, just that little bit, which meant that they were kind of on top of things. As I said, that you've got no reason to complain if you're a Luton fan, really. But I also think that what you picked up on about our support as well, because it's not always the case. I'm not just saying this because we're county fans and everything, but you could just hear our fans, couldn't you? You could just hear our fans. And like Dave says, even when we weren't necessarily, it was one of those. It felt like the way support was. It knew when and how much the team needed us. Because we seemed to almost get louder when the team was maybe struggling a little bit. Well, that's what you want, isn't it? It's a sort of at this stage of the season. That's the sort of kind of togetherness you want to start building, because it's not always been there this season. But if that can build that between the fans and the squad,
To quote Roy Keane, that's our job, isn't it? That's what we're there for. That's our job. On to the goal then, Dave. Talk to me.
I mean,
actually, before that, we had Kyle Wotton being withdrawn at halftime to great panic. Now this is going to be a strange take. So Dave Challoner's confirmed it's just a dead leg, and with this being the week where we don't have a midweek game, he should be back for next Saturday. But at the same time, this sort of feeds into something we mentioned the other week, whereby every time we've gone on a run under Dave Challoner, it's been off the back of him having to make a change that wasn't planned for, or stumbling upon a solution to a problem, which is what happened when we won League Two. Kyle Wotton was out injured. We had to go with Barry and Tanto, went on that run where we were unbeaten in like 730 games or whatever the hell it was. And there was almost a point when he went off where I thought, maybe we'll start sort of playing between the lines a bit more. And we did, because Tanto and Sidibe together looks like something that could work for us. We do have a bit of a plan B up front, and that should hopefully give us the opportunity to rest. I mean, I'm surprised he's got through, not just this season, but last season as well. I'm surprised he's got through with just a dead leg, considering A, the treatment he receives, and B, the fact he plays 90 minutes of every game, pretty much.
My only worry is the last time I had a player with a dead leg was Owen Dodson, and we didn't see him for about 2.5 months. His dead leg never resuscitated itself.
Yeah, quite literally dead. Like, it's got necrosis and everything. Yeah.
But no, we did look good with the two pacey ones up top. Definitely gives us I don't know if I'd like to start a game like that. It seems to, when teams are a bit tired, to throw Tanto and Sidibe together might be the best.
Especially because they're both quite chaotic by nature, I think.
None of them know what they're going to do next, so God knows how defenders cope with it.
How's each other going to know? How are the teammates going to know? You can have one player like that. You can't have two in there. You wouldn't have two Danny Welbecks up front, would you? Bad reference that he's a cultured player now. Not like the old days where he's still the best player I've ever seen live, Danny Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck?
Yeah, I went to see United in the Champions League under Moyes, and Robin van Persie scored a hat-trick, but Danny Welbeck was the one who... Robin van Persie might have gone home with a match ball, but Danny Welbeck went home with my heart. He was fantastic. I was obsessed with him after that. Oh, God. Yeah, tell me about the goal, Dave.
I mean, it's not a surprise if you're a Stockport County fan, player or Ollie Norwood himself. It's the third time that he scored a goal like that this season. And it couldn't have happened to a nicer goalkeeper than our friend in the Luton goal, who was at Orient last season. But yeah, it was just one of those, similarly to their goal, if you score it, you're over the moon. It's a great finish. You can see that what you're doing. And we talk about players doing homework and coaching staff doing homework. Where's your homework on Ollie Norwood?
Well, Jack Wilshere mentioned in his interview that they had done the requisite homework.
Oh, really?
So that makes it even worse.
Yeah.
That's just that they can get to that stage and not even realise. Like, I mean, you could see his teammates looking back at his position, looking at him where he was positioned, and being like, oh, and then before you know it, it was getting taken. All thanks to the genius of Skechers.
Yeah, they've got the bend on them. He must have. It was almost like Norwood must have been thinking, is he not going to move across to his near post? Because I'm going to have to do this now. He's actually invited this.
And interestingly, he has now scored like that in the league. He's done it in the trophy against Doncaster, of course. He did it against Tranmere in the FA Cup, and it's just the League Cup where he didn't do it. They should have let him on for 10 minutes today, just to box it off. But yeah, nice little nearly a really niche record there.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised, but then I'm not like employed in Luton's scouting staff to because I'd forgotten that he momentarily that he had that in his locker. You know what I mean? But yeah, just tremendous. I did feel a little bit generally across the game, and I guess sometimes it's a worry that comes and goes with me. Is I felt a little bit like we can become a little bit over reliant on Norwood midfield wise.
Yes.
When we're at our best, like we're early second half against Northampton, there was a lot of kind of close into play. The goal came from that, players getting just a lot of kind of quick short passing. I mean, we know that Norwood can, with his Skechers, play a 45-yard ball onto your chest. But it's not American football. He's not a quarterback. We need a few other ways, maybe, to score goals, and just it just feels like it's something that could happen if we're not careful a little bit, because we've got this guy who's basically a Premier League midfielder who can do this.
I've got a Norwood unpopular opinion. Now, I rate him very highly, obviously, but do you think? More often than not, the passes that he tries don't pull off because, they wouldn't, the long passes. I think he's giving away too many cheap fouls, like Northampton at home. I called it 10 minutes before. I said, Norwood's getting booked here. No,
you can see when it's going to come, can't you? There's like a 10 minutes before.
His legs go, he did commit a foul yesterday towards the end after his legs had gone again. Now, I'm not slagging him off here, but I do think maybe he's over it. Like, for example, the FA Virtue Trophy game, I think, against Wolves, Owen Dodson played about 4 passes, Ollie Norwood passes, we will call them, and everyone just stayed sat down. Yet when it's Norwood who does it, it's, oh my God.
Yeah.
I think
Well, it was the same with Nick Powell. Nick Powell would play like a 60-yard pass with the outside of his boot, and Torre would be trying to scamper onto it. No chance of getting to it. It'd go out of play, and it'd be Torre's fault. And then the narrative was always, oh, well, Powell's playing below his level, though. He's used to playing with players who can get on the end of that. It's like, yeah, but if he's that good, he should be able to modify his game for the... Yeah. And it does, yeah, there's been so many times this season where we've seen other players do them kind of passes.
I think that's a fair comment, Dave. It reminds me of years ago watching Newcastle against Swindon, and Glenn Hoddle was playing for Swindon, and Glenn Hoddle, like every single pass he played, the crowd, this is like the St James's crowd, were like purring with appreciation, and it's almost like, well, it was good and everything, but it's like, lads, how are we? Like, there's a little bit of like, yes, I'm a knowledgeable football fan. This is Glenn Hoddle. I'm going to applaud his pass. There's a bit of that going on a little bit of the time sometimes. You know what I mean?
Apparently, Glenn Hoddle did that when he was England manager, like World Cup '98. Apparently, like in training, he was just pinging balls around, and they were all just stood there watching him, like, oh my God, this is incredible.
I mean, he was good. Like, I will give him his
we'll give him that.
Give him his due. He was a bad little player, old Glenn Hoddle. Yeah. So there's a little, I see where you come from on that, Dave, I do. And just, generally, like, we've got, look, we just about Bailey's, we've got other guys who can make things happen, right?
Yeah. Well, someone who won't be making things happen is young Bradley Hills with the lovely hair. Fair to say I was going to say, from Challoner's comments and the way he went off, it's fair to say we're not going to see him again this season. I'll probably say the same about Kyle Wootton as well, to be honest, just to hedge my bets, just so I'm prepared in case, because you know what, and that Kyle Wootton got the Dave Challoner kiss of death as well in the interview, where he said, "Oh, we'll take a look at him, but we'll see how it is in the next couple of days, but he should be all right." Well, when Dave Challoner says that, we just don't see the player for 6 months, so that's something to look forward to, isn't it? But yeah, it's Hills. Let's not forget, at points particularly recently, has been a big part of why we've been so shaky at the back. He's a part of that back line. He's not absolved of the blame, but at the same time, he does look like the most solid member of that back line. So I'm going to ask you, Dave, where do we go now? What do we go to a back four with Pai and Olowu at centre back? Because we're looking a bit light in that position now. Shockingly, with Connolly out injured.
Back four's an option. I think before I answer that, the way that Hills went off, not in agony whatsoever, really, when he was walking off, that is an awful sign. Because it's almost like he knows what he's done, and goose. Okay. But what do we do next? Well, I think Olowu was brought in to play the position that Hills has played.
Yes, exactly this.
And then Hills, it's almost like the Diamond Barry thing from last season. Hills became available, so you go and get him. So now is it time for Olowu to step up and play in the middle of that back three? Hopefully, because he came with glowing reports. If not, you go to the back four. Olowu obviously will still play. But I think Dacres Cogley does a good job as a right centre back. So with Diamond on the wing, there's a couple of options.
I think he does, yeah. Because I can't see Dacres Cogley or Dacre Cogley, as the Luton commentator called him yesterday. Also, I did not think in 2026 we would get a new pronunciation of Tanto. I did not think there were any new pronunciations to be rattled off, but the Sky commentator called him Olaof.
Oh, that's tremendous.
I was like, oh, come on, mate. Come on. Jesus Christ.
Maybe it was some kind of like word association with the Skechers, and he was kind of thinking he was loafing about, you know what I mean? But I'm really being very generous. I'm being very generous.
Where does the laugher wear his Skechers? On his toes.
We need to get onto the Skechers, people, about this.
I don't think. I think there's going to be a big spike on the Google searches for Skechers now off the back of all this.
Well, you would.
They'll be at Skechers headquarters now.
You would hope so. Yeah.
Skechers headquarters now saying, how is this happening?
Yeah.
Harry Kane just like dribbling all over the desk. And all. I don't think they let him in the meetings, do they? I don't think he just wears them. I don't think he gets to make any branding decisions.
Yeah.
Right, is there anything else on yesterday before we wrap up?
Oh, you know I made copious notes, don't you, Nick?
Show off.
Yeah, but I can't remember. I can't read them. I can't remember anything about. No, I think we've probably covered a lot there, haven't we? If not everything.
Yeah,
I've made a couple of positive observations about our manager Dave Challoner. Recently, he's been getting a lot of grief about sitting down in his dugout, not really looking positive or like he wants to be there. And I don't know if someone within the club's had a word with him because they've seen the comments about him. But last two games, especially, he's been up. He's been getting involved. Right. When we scored yesterday, he seemed right. He seemed absolutely over the moon, as we all were. So I think where criticism has been thrown his way for sitting on the bench, I think we can give him some credit for getting involved and speaking positively about the fans.
Absolutely,
it seems like he's getting us all together now for this final pushing, and we should all get
at the same time, though, that is one of the most ridiculous pieces of criticism I've ever heard of a county manager. Because no one complained about him sitting down when we were winning multiple league titles. That was not an issue then. No one was complaining about it up until about 3 weeks ago. And then all of a sudden, it's like one person noticed it and just shouted really loudly about it until other people started going on about it. It's not a stick to beat him with at all. It's so weird. And I almost lose a little bit of respect for him. If he has started doing the things you say as a reaction to that, then my respect for him's gone. I want him out.
Needs to sit back down.
Well, the other observation was,
I might start sitting behind him in the main stand, and every time he stands up, he goes, "Fucking sit down, Challoner."
We were on after the Bradford game a few weeks ago, and I made the point that he says in his interviews all the time he doesn't want to set up differently at home and away, when in actual fact we do. In the interview yesterday, he let slip that we match the home team while we're away from home. And I said, don't insult us and don't lie to us. No, I'm not taking credit for this. I am. He's been honest with us and he's not lying to us. He finally admitted that we do. Because we've all got eyes, we can see that he matches them. But I'm just so happy to be right again.
It's great being right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought he was. He seemed very upbeat after the game, didn't he? And he was happy that it was getting. He said it's getting sunnier now, so that the fans don't have to have so many coats on when they go to the games. I thought that was just nice little detail. He's thinking of our well-being and where the bulk of were outfits. So that's the connection there is good. And I know generally I did think he was really great and upbeat and seemed in a good place.
Yeah, a good place is.
He doesn't always. He sometimes does seem a little bit almost. I don't know. I don't want to morose sometimes, but
it's felt like that for most of the season.
Yeah.
For me, yeah.
But he was talking about these last. He said he'd been saying to the players, "Look, this is what it's all about now. These last kind of 10 games, whatever." Do
you think he maybe comes to life? Because I'm like that when I play Football Manager. I'll probably get more. Oh, Dave, I've got an update for you later, mate. Oh, Jesus Christ! Blackburn Rovers are back, baby. Yeah, I'll do that with Football Manager. I'll suddenly, when it starts getting to the business end of the season, I'll be up till like 4 a.m. just absolutely hammering it. And I think that's the mode that Dave Challoner's in. I bet Dave Challoner, as we speak, is on Football Manager, doing exactly what he's doing in real life.
Yeah.
I bet he's just like fully engrossed and invested. He's like, yes, this is my life now. This is my personality.
He's become springtime Challoner. When the clocks go back, Dave Challoner just improves across the board.
So, if Dave Challoner plays Football Manager as his name and he joins Stockport County, it will say Dave Challoner has been sacked by Stockport County and replaced by Dave Challoner. I'm gonna set that up later as Dave Challoner just to see if it says it.
It always gets me because Adam Lafondra is one of the most famous footballers formerly of this parish, of course. He's one of the most famous footballers to be into Football Manager. So he's been playing for years, like with his manager called Adam Lafondra, and then he'll also sign the player Adam Lafondra.
Okay.
And it just blows my mind now. It's like, but the two people. And then if they have he has a good relationship with him, is Adam Lafondra the player going to have Adam Lafondra the manager as one of his favourite people? It's it's a whole minefield.
Yeah,
we're gonna do it.
I like my immersion. Oh, didn't think it'd end like that, really. Right, is there anything else before we wrap up?
What's the layers of this show tonight? Like an onion, really, you would say. It's been great.
Yay!
I wasn't going to get away with the County Nation not being reminded at the close also.
Plenty of layers, and it made some people cry. That will be... Right. So, Thursday, tune into Jonathan. Find the link in our episode description. We will be back next Sunday talking all things what are to do with Wimbledon and our game against them, not the tennis tournament, because people aren't interested when we do that. People don't want people who don't know about tennis talking about it, apparently. So, it wokes. Jonathan, thank you for joining us, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be back. It's been lovely. Thank you.
Good. Make sure you've thrown a different vegetable around for next time, so we can. Because I mean, you're doing onion against red onion, but once you've worked out the winner there, you've got to go onion. You've got to go two different types of potato against each other, and then the winner comes up against the onion.
You look at your families. You look at brassicas. You look at your broccoli against your cabbage.
Yeah.
You look at your squashes. You look at your pumpkin against your courgette. Actually, that's the same family. Yeah. You know. So
if you start lobbing pumpkins around in October, you have to invite Jeff Capes around. There's a reference. Ask your dads.
The whole thing has crossover appeal.
Yeah. We can do a full on in the summer. We can go to a local park. This is not starting well. Us middle-aged men will go to a park together and just throw some vegetables about, and we'll make it like an actual. We'll have like a opening ceremony and stuff. Oh yeah, we'll get Danny Boyle to do the opening ceremony like he did with the Olympics. I'm sure he'd be up for that.
He'd be up for that. I've got my wheelbarrow.
Yeah,
I'll get it oiled.
5 wheelbarrows, each of them containing an individual Spice Girl for the opening ceremony. Like they did with the minis at the Olympic one. And the other old Spice Girl. Yeah, do that.
Vision. Yeah.
We've got it all planned out, mate.
Bandstand at Gal Green Park. Done.
Yeah, Vernon, mate. Vernon. I'm a Vernon Park lad now.
You're a Vernon Park lad, all right.
Oh, I went the other week and sat in the bandstand. It's good. I enjoyed it.
Read about that on the MEN, actually.
Wasn't proven. Right, thank you everyone who's tuned in. Dave, thank you to you as ever. Always a pleasure, mate. Go about your week now.
Thanks. Well.
Exciting. Well done. Thank you. Right, cheers everyone. Don't forget, if you've watched on YouTube, to press the thumbs up button. And if you're tuning in on your podcast player of choice, you can rate, review, subscribe. And also subscribe on YouTube because it helps massively. We're closing in on the magical 500 now. I kind of want to be like, oh, help us get to 500. But then when we get to 500, that's when people start getting adverts on the channel. Oh, it's not really in their best interest. Pay for YouTube Premium, actually, it's worth it. Of all the subscription things, that's the one worth going for. Right, I've stopped shilling for big companies. Also buy Skechers. They'll win you the World Cup. We will see you next week, everybody, from 8 o'clock. Same time, same place. Say goodbye, folks.
Goodbye.
So everyone.
Bye.